Thank you for taking a moment to watch my video on how to replace your fuel nozzle in a Patriot and Defender mosquito magnet. There are some subtle differences between a Defender, Patriot, and a Patriot Plus, but they're pretty close to similar. So this unit happens to be a Patriot, so I'll show you how to replace the fuel nozzle, get your mosquito magnet working again. The first thing you want to do is there's 4 screws that hold the gray to the blue housing. There's one in each corner. There's one in this corner, one in this corner, one down here, and one down in this corner. So you want to go ahead and loosen those 4 screws. I got them mostly loose already in order to save time on this video. So those 4 screws are loose. Then you want to come to the back, and there's 2 screws that hold this hose on. And you want to loosen those 2 screws and take those out as well. There we go. I did not take out these 4 screws at this time. It's kind of hard to do that because they're so far in there. When I turn the unit over, they'll fall out, and then I'll have to go find them. But usually that's about the only way you do it. So now it's time to separate the 2 halves. Set the green half aside. Turn this over. And like I said, these 4 screws are going to fall out now. So these 4 screws are longer than the screws for the hose. So that's a way to easily tell them apart. So here you have your basic mosquito magnet. There's your igniter, there's your thermistor, the parts that can go bad, fuel valve, switch, and so forth. So what we want to get to, the fuel nozzle is right inside here. So there's a screw right there that's holding it in. We'll get to that in a second. So first you need to remove the whole motor and mosquito magnet assembly from the gray bottom. To do that, there's 3 screws. There's one here, on this side, one on this side, and one kind of hidden right down here. We'll tackle this one first. There we go. And then this one. As you can see, I'm using a Phillips head screwdriver. One with a long shank works best for this. A drill is kind of hard to fit down in some of these spots unless you got a really long shank for the drill. It would make it a lot quicker, but it's just hard to get where you need to get. So there you go. This screw here is still attached. There we go. Alright, so now basically separate. You still have some wires attached here, so just be careful. You just kind of set it like this precariously for a second. It's not going to go anywhere. So, as I mentioned a minute ago, there's a screw here holding in the nozzle on the back end. You can see that. There we go. And with a little twist back and forth, pull it out. So there's your nozzle. You can see there how black the tip of it is. So it's pretty clogged. It's not going to let much propane go through that. So you'll need 2 wrenches to replace it. You need a 3/4 inch wrench and a 5/8 inch wrench. So you put the 3/4 on there, and the 5/8 on here. And they are pretty tight, so well, that's actually tightening it even more. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and you see how black this is. Sometimes it's just really, really black there, and the tip of the nozzle is really black. So I'll show you what a new nozzle looks like. This is a new nozzle. It's a 150/45 WDA. There are people on eBay selling them. They're not WDAs, they're just A's. They're about half price of the nozzle. So I sell genuine WDAs, like that come out of your mosquito magnet and come with it. So this is what a nice new one looks like. Nice and gold filter, you know, clear nozzle. Good to go in. So screw that in. There we go. Just a little snug. Alright. And it does have an O-ring in here to seal once it's in the chamber. Make sure that's in good condition, not ripped or torn or anything. You can see the little divot right here, or channel, where the screw will go into and lock it in place. So we're going to push that in. There it's in. Don't tighten down all the way at this time. Just get in there most of the way. So that's most of the way. I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. The reason you don't want to tighten it now is because the hose is going to need to flex a little bit when you're putting it back together. So I'm going to put it back in here. There we go. Now we're ready to screw the two halves back together again. So this, as I said, is a Patriot model. If you have a Patriot Plus model, it's very similar. The newer Patriot models and Patriot Plus have a little bit different electrical connector, which you may want to remove before you take it apart in order to split the case a little easier. And unfortunately, on the Defender models, they do not have this screw. And in order to get the nozzle out, you need to split this whole aluminum housing. To do that, there's a series of screws on the top, side, and bottom. And you got to put a putty knife in there to pry it apart. Then you get the nozzle out, replace it, put it back in, and you have to glue with RTV, high temp, all the way around the seams to seal it again. Glue it back together, and then you can, you know, proceed to assemble it. So now that I got it in, I got it screwed down. Now I'm going to finish tightening the screw and set its final location. There we go. So that's set. Alright, so that was pretty quick. We got the nozzle replaced. Now it's time to put the cover back on. Go. Kind of snaps together a little bit. You don't really want to force it so it's not going together nice and smooth. Kind of work it around. There we go. There we go. Snap, snap. Good. So first I'm going to put this hose retainer back on. The flange goes down. It's very easy to put these screws on crooked, so I like to start one a little bit and put the other side in. Alright, there we go. Now the four corner screws. One goes in there, one goes in there, one goes in that hole, and one goes in this hole. And alright. So I'm not going to bore you watching me screw these back together. There we go. I'll finish that in a minute. There we go. But there we go. We successfully replaced the fuel nozzle in this Mosquito Magnet Patriot model, and now it should be good to go. We replaced the fuel clog, so now we shouldn't get an error for lack of fuel flow. Hope this video was helpful. See my comments below to purchase a nozzle on Amazon and on eBay if you want to purchase one. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.